Wow, today's latest Jikook dance successfully amazes all ARMY. Today, ARMY all around the world were once again left in awe by the latest dance performance from BTS's iconic duo, Jimin and Jungkook, Jikook. The studio dance video instantly went viral and became a hot topic across social media platforms. In the video, Jimin captivates everyone by wearing a simple white outfit which actually highlights his graceful yet deeply expressive movements. Every detail of his performance looks clean, emotional, and hypnotizing, showcasing his signature style as BTS's main dancer. Meanwhile, Jungkook appears wearing a jacket, giving off a cool and powerful aura. His movements are sharp, energetic, and incredibly precise. The contrast between Jungkook's strength and Jimin's softness creates a perfect harmony that makes it impossible to look away. The dance, performed inside a studio, feels both intimate and intense. Without a grand stage or excessive effects, all attention is drawn to Jikook's chemistry, which seems to speak through every movement. It's no surprise that many ARMY are calling this one of the most mesmerizing Jikook performances to date. The comment sections quickly filled with praise. Many fans admitted they got chills, felt emotional, and replayed the video over and over because of the duo's powerful presence. Once again, Jimin and Jungkook prove that they are not just idols but true artists. Today's Jikook dance isn't just a performance, it's an unforgettable experience that stays in the hearts of ARMY. The moment the video appeared online, time seemed to slow down for millions of fans across the world. Notifications lit up phones almost simultaneously, timelines refreshed in a frenzy, and within minutes the latest Jikook dance had become the center of global attention. There was no dramatic teaser, no oversized stage, no elaborate storyline introduced beforehand, and yet the impact was immediate and overwhelming. Jimin and Jungkook did not need spectacle to command attention. All they needed was a studio, music, and each other. The studio itself was simple and unpretentious, almost deliberately so. White walls, clean flooring, soft lighting that refused to overpower the dancers. It felt intimate, as though the viewers had been invited into a private rehearsal rather than a polished performance meant for the world. That sense of closeness was crucial. From the very first second, it was clear that this was not about perfection for the sake of appearance, but about expression, connection, and movement speaking where words could not. Jimin stepped into the frame wearing white. The choice was striking in its simplicity. A white outfit can be unforgiving, revealing every line, every breath, every shift and posture. Yet on Jimin it became an extension of his artistry. The fabric moved with him, catching light just enough to emphasize the fluidity of his body. White has long been associated with purity and vulnerability, and in this performance it seemed to strip everything down to its essence. There was nowhere to hide, and Jimin did not want to hide. From the first movement, his control was evident. His arms carved through the air with softness that never once felt weak. His lines were precise, but they breathed. Every transition melted into the next, creating the illusion that his body was not following choreography but rather responding instinctively to the music. There was an emotional clarity in the way he moved, as though each gesture carried intention beyond technique. Viewers could feel it even if they could not name it. Jungkook entered with a contrasting presence. Wearing a jacket darker in tone, he brought weight and grounding to the performance. Where Jimin floated, Jungkook anchored. Where Jimin curved, Jungkook struck, yet the contrast never clashed. Instead, it formed a balance that felt deliberate and deeply considered. Jungkook's movements were sharp, confident, and powerful, but not rigid. His body absorbed the rhythm fully, releasing it through controlled bursts of energy that filled the space. The jacket added to that impression. It gave his movements a sense of impact, amplifying each turn of his shoulders and each decisive step. When he moved quickly, the fabric followed with a fraction of delay, creating visual echoes that made his power feel even more pronounced. Jungkook has always been known for his athleticism and precision, and this performance reminded everyone why. There was strength in every motion, but also maturity. This was not raw force, it was refined power. What made the dance unforgettable, however, was not Jimin alone or Jungkook alone. It was the space between them. The invisible thread that seemed to connect their movements, pulling and releasing, tightening and softening in perfect synchronization. They did not mirror each other constantly, nor did they compete for attention. Instead, they existed in conversation. One would initiate, the other would respond. One would soften, the other would intensify. It felt like watching two voices in harmony, distinct yet inseparable. At times, they moved so close that the air between them seemed charged. At other moments, distance emphasized longing and restraint. These choices were subtle, but they carried emotional weight. Fans noticed immediately. Social media filled with comments describing chills, tears, and the inability to look away. Many admitted they replayed the video multiple times, discovering something new with each viewing. A tilt of the head they missed before, a breath taken in perfect timing, a fleeting glance that spoke volumes. The absence of extravagant camera work allowed these details to shine. The camera did not distract or manipulate emotion. It observed, it trusted the dancers. This restraint was powerful. In an industry often dominated by fast cuts and overwhelming visuals, the decision to let the dance breathe felt refreshing and bold. It suggested confidence, not just in the performer's abilities, but in the audience's capacity to feel deeply without being told what to feel. Jimin's expression throughout the performance was especially compelling. His face reflected the music in ways that felt almost painfully honest. There was vulnerability there, but also strength. His eyes conveyed focus, longing, and release, sometimes all within a single phrase of movement. He did not exaggerate emotion, he allowed it to surface naturally. This is a quality that separates technically skilled dancers from truly captivating ones. Jimin does not perform emotion, he inhabits it. Jungkook, on the other hand, conveyed intensity through presence rather than overt expression. His gaze was steady, his jaw set, his focus unwavering. There was a sense of determination in the way he carried himself, as though each movement was a promise kept. When his energy softened, it felt intentional and meaningful. When it surged, it was exhilarating. Together, their emotional approaches complemented each other, creating a dynamic that felt both balanced and electric. The music choice played a significant role as well, though it never overshadowed the dancers. It provided a canvas rather than a command. The rhythm guided without dictating, allowing Jimin and Jungkook to interpret rather than obey. This freedom was visible in the way they stretched time, lingering on certain movements and accelerating through others. It felt organic, as though the dance was being discovered in real time rather than executed from memory. As the performance progressed, the sense of storytelling deepened. There was no literal narrative, no clear beginning or end in a traditional sense. Instead, the story unfolded through emotion and interaction. Tension built, released, and built again. Moments of stillness carried as much weight as moments of motion. Silence between beats felt deliberate, almost sacred. These pauses allowed the audience to breathe with the dancers, to exist inside the performance rather than merely observe it. Fans quickly began to analyze the choreography frame by frame. Discussions emerged about symbolism, about the contrast of white and dark clothing, about the way light fell differently on each dancer. Some interpreted Jimin's white outfit as a representation of openness and exposure, while Jungkook's jacket symbolized protection and resolve. Others focused on how these visual choices enhanced the emotional narrative without spelling it out. There was no single correct interpretation, and that openness invited endless conversation. The studio setting reinforced this intimacy. Unlike a concert stage which places performers at a distance, the studio felt personal. It reminded fans of practice videos, of behind-the-scenes moments, of the hard work that often goes unseen. This familiarity made the performance feel honest. It was not about impressing an audience with scale. It was about sharing a moment of artistry in its purest form.